Hi. My vagina and I were strangers for a very long time. We really ignored each other at all costs, and I pretty much thought that I didn't have one when I first got my period because I could not figure out how to insert a tampon for the life of me. I was so confused and frustrated by the instructions on the inside of the box that was talking about the back of my vagina because as far as I was concerned, there was only up. Uh, so I was like, that was confusing. So yeah, I was really embarrassed about that, even though no one else knew that I was thinking about this. But eventually, when I was 16, I thought, fuck it, it's been 4 years. I'm just gonna shove something, uh, whatever it is, in a place where nothing had ever been before. And I was really proud of myself. I walked around the house and I was like, hey, Dad. Nothing new, nothing new. Cool, cool, cool. Me neither, me neither. But then came the time to take it out. And didn't think that anything would happen, but my body immediately tensed up, like it was warning me of something. But I didn't think anything of it, and I continued to go into the bathroom and do my little, whatever, over the toilet squat that I had seen in the same book, Care and Keeping of Me. Woo! Love that guy. And even though my body was tense, I was like, it's okay. It's fine. It's just my first time doing it. So I tugged on the string and nothing happened. And then I pulled and still nothing. And then I yanked and I felt the worst pain I had felt in my life up until that point. I was in complete shock. What just happened? What did I do wrong? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Was I also supposed to take it out from the back? What is the back? Help! Even though putting this stupid thing into me was time consuming and frustrating, it really didn't hurt that bad. But for whatever reason, taking it out felt like I was ripping a part of myself out with it. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to ask. I was terrified to Google it, and I didn't want my mom to know. And what was I gonna do? Go up to my poor dad and be like, hey, really quick, something's wrong. It hurts a lot, and you probably know what to do. So I spared him of that. So I waited a few more months to try again. This time I got the insertion down, but again, the removal was horribly painful. I was so frustrated. What was I doing wrong? This time I tried to take it out from the front. I tried everything, and obviously something was very wrong. So that's it. I said, that's it. Pads from now on. As I made my way through the rest of high school, I was just having a hard time figuring out what I was supposed to do. Was I supposed to be wearing pads? Was I supposed to be wearing tampons? I had internalized all this shame and confusion and disgust regarding anything to do with periods and vaginas that I just completely ignored that mine existed. When I was 16, 17, 18, started kissing boys and going out and flirting and whatever it was that you call it, I would flee the scene before anything further happened because if a piece of cotton the size of my finger could cause that much pain, I did not want to know what a penis would do. So I finally told my mom what was going on because I was tired of feeling left out of normal things that I thought everyone else was very good at. And she took me to the gynecologist. And the gynecologist told me that I had a micro-perforated hymen. So what that means is that as opposed to a normal hymen, which surrounds the vaginal opening, my guy was sort of covering it. So I could put a tampon in and kind of just sneak on past it, but when I would take it out, it would get caught and stretch it. Ah! Yeah. It really hurt. So the gynecologist was like, yeah, you gotta get that removed. You're gonna have to have a hymenectomy, little gal. What the fuck? At this point, I wasn't really sure what a hymen was or what it did, but I had some vague idea that it was supposed to be broken or popped by a penis of some idiot that didn't give a shit about me or something romantic like that. So you can imagine my horror when I realized that it would be a doctor doing this for me and not one of the crusty boys that I went to high school with. Devastating. I got my surgery freshman year of college during winter break. Yeah. What'd you guys do for your vacation? It was an interesting experience because up until that point, nothing had, besides a few botched tampon experiences, nothing had really gone in or even around my vagina. But I knew that while I was knocked out from the anesthesia, this doctor, this stranger, was removing a part of me that I really hadn't figured out on my own. And even though the surgery would make things more comfortable for me, I was still terrified of her. Not just because of the physical pain she had caused me, but because I truly did not understand her. As I made my way through the rest of college, I avoided talking about sex and periods and vaginas at all costs. I felt so different from everybody else because I was avoiding mine, and in doing that, I was not having these experiences that I thought everyone else was having. Wearing tampons without making themselves so in pain that they felt ill, not having sex, not doing this, not doing that, anything, just completely out of it as far as that stuff goes. I basically broke out in hives every time we played Never Have I Ever because I didn't want anyone to know how many nevers I had. I had a hard time connecting with new girlfriends because I was so paranoid that they would ask me, so what was your first time like? And I didn't want them to know that I didn't have a first time. It felt like everyone around me was doing it all the time, and I was like left out of this secret club, and I just had to pretend like I was supposed to be there. It's kind of like when a song comes on and you know what the song is, but you don't know the words, and you just have to pretend that you do while everyone else is singing along. And the song is kind of like, we're all having sex all the time, and we know exactly what's going on with our bodies. It's a good song, so I wrote it. Yeah. My obsession and my awareness with the fact that I hadn't had sex and that I was scared to use tampons was all-consuming and truly a huge barrier. I didn't date, and I was so uncomfortable with even the idea of sexiness because I felt like if I embraced it, then I would have to prove it, and then I would be outed as a fraud or worse, a virgin. Yes, they exist, they're real. So, I don't know. I don't know what changed. I don't know if it was just getting older or media, learning things. But eventually I allowed myself to ask questions. I allowed myself to not feel ashamed of wondering, of being curious. And I learned so much from my friends and my doctors and myself. My friends were also having pain and frustrations with their bodies. They were also confused about this and that and didn't know, some people didn't know how to use tampons either. And there were people like me who weren't having sex, even after college. Crazy. Really crazy. So anyway, like I said, I don't know what changed. But eventually, I let go of the idea that something was wrong with me, something was different, that I wasn't like them, that I couldn't fit in with them because they were doing this thing that I didn't know anything about. And even though I knew that that was false and that it was something that I had made up in my mind, my pain was real, and it left an impact on me that really changed the trajectory of my personal life, I believe. And I think that's valuable, even though it was hard And even though it made me feel different and weird and other and outside, there's still a part of me that's 16, learning that something was different about my body and experiencing pain in a way that made me feel ashamed. And there's still a part of me that's 18 that's just had surgical removal of her hymen, and knowing that even though this would help, still feeling worried that somehow she would betray me again. And there's still a part of me that's 22, a recent college graduate, wondering if I would go another 4 years without having this experience that I felt like everyone was having all around me all the time. And there's the present me, who knows better now, despite carrying around all these past selves. And as for me and my vagina, we are on much better terms. Stop. We talk and we take the time to understand each other. And I think it's going to work out. Thank you.